Hi. Now we'll be starting with a very important type of sum which is related to your SEBI ICDR regulations 2018. Now this has been regularly asked in your CS executive and is also in your CS professional level. Now in ICDR regulations 2018, one specific regulation number I will be talking about is your regulation number 57, which talks about green shoe options. So the regulation number is regulation number 57 of the ICDR regulations 2018, which talks about green shoe options. Now what is green shoe option and why is it called as a green shoe? Basically this strategy was founded by Green Shoe Manufacturing Company, and in the name behind of the company they have called this as green shoe option. So the term comes from a company called as Green Shoe Option Company, founded in 1919, which was the first company to use this practice, that is green shoe option, in USA. Now what is exactly green shoe option facility? So we understood it's nothing to do with a green shoe. It's just because of it was a green shoe manufacturing company who had first used this strategy. So what is this strategy? It is actually a price post listing price stabilizing mechanism. So what is a green shoe option? In short, it is a post listing price stabilizing mechanism. Now after listing, many things can happen. Either the prices can shoot up or it can crash. Now we don't want that abnormal fluctuations in price. For that we use this green shoe option. So your Paytm, if you remember, the price had directly crashed to around 10% and it got 27% actually. So imagine Paytm, when they were listed, they had crashed around 27%, and Paytm had actually taken approval from their shareholders for doing the green shoe option as well. So let's see. Just seeing the green shoe option that Paytm was also planning to take. So it was the green shoe. So they even Paytm, when they had come out with an IPO, they had taken an approval to incorporate the green shoe option for stabilizing the price post listing. So let's see further. The first company in India to use this strategy was your ICICI Bank, which was then followed by TCS, and many companies nowadays prefer to incorporate this post listing price stabilizing mechanism. Now what is this strategy, etc.? Let's understand. So let me give you an example and explain to you. Let's say a public issue is made. A public issue is decided of making an issue of 1 lakh shares. So to this public, how many shares will be floated? This is 1 lakh. So this is the issue size. Now before doing the public issue, as per the ICDR regulations 2018, before the public issue is done or the issue is opened, there are certain pre-issue holders. Can you tell me who are these pre-issue holders? Where we will say issue करने के पहले ही आपको buy करना है. Who we will tell such things to? The promoters. So the promoters have to invest in their own company prior to the public has invested. So we will tell these pre-issue holders, and if you remember that the promoters have to contribute minimum 20% of the issue size. Whatever is the issue size, 20% has to already be invested or been subscribed by the promoters. Is this clear? Now the promoters, okay, and the shareholders, they believe that post listing there can be multiple scenarios where there is a oversubscription and the share price shoots up, or there is a failure like Paytm failure where the share price crashes. In both these cases, can you tell me if the share price on listing shoots up or shoots down? Don't you think it will affect the shareholders, and nobody wants this kind of fluctuation? Agreed? Would you as a shareholder or a promoter want such kind of extreme fluctuations in your company? Yes or no? No. So what is the objective? We want that the price shouldn't go so high, so low. We want it to be stabilized somewhere. We wanted to stabilize the price. So we want to stabilize the price. Now how will we do it? Let's understand. The promoters or the pre-issue shareholders, there will be first of all someone appointed, as we saw, I showed you in Paytm also. Who did they appoint to stabilize this price? This we are checking of Paytm. Okay, they all had taken approval from the stock exchange to incorporate, appoint a stabilizing agent. So here what will happen? A stabilizing agent will be appointed. So a stabilizing agent. This stabilizing agent are generally your merchant bankers. Are your merchant bankers. Sometimes merchant bankers offer a varied range of services such as merchant banking services, your underwriting services. So whatever, we are going to call this person who's going to help us stabilize this price called as the stabilizing agent. Am I clear to you? Yeah. So what this stabilizing agent will do? He will go to the promoters and the pre-issue shareholders and he will borrow their shares. He will say, "आपको invest करना ही है ना, आपको आपने before the issue you have subscribed." So he will borrow the shares. Okay, or these promoters will give their shares up to maximum 15% of issue size. What is the maximum lending that can be given or borrowing by the issuing stabilizing agent? So it is max 15% can be borrowed from these pre-issue holders, or I'm calling them as promoters. So the stabilizing agent is telling the promoters, you give your shares to me. I said fine. Then the up to 15%. So we can say 15,000. Now what this stabilizing agent will do, he will float these shares in additionally in the market. Am I clear till here? Normally, how many approval was taken to float how many shares initially? 1 lakh. The stabilizing agent has come in and he has borrowed 15,000 shares which the promoters were holding. Okay, and he will float this also for the public. He will float this also to the public. So in the market, how much shares will be floated? 1,15,000. Can I say there is a over allotment done? There is a over allotment done. You understand stage by stage process, I will tell you. But first you understood what will happen. How Paytm applied that we want to have this green shoe option. They must have appointed a stabilizing agent. This stabilization will go to the pre-issue holders and borrow maximum 15% of their shares and then put it into the market. He will give it in the market. He will sell it in the market. So there is an over allotment of 15,000. So in the market, 1,15,000 shares are being floated. Am I clear till here? Yes. Once this is going in, now see, when there is a, tell me like this kind of a scenario where we have of Zomato. Have you heard of Zomato? This is a case of Zomato IPO if you've seen. The IPO was a super hit. IPO was a super hit and they was hitting upper circuits because there was a oversubscription. Oversubscription. People want IPO allotment नहीं लग रहा है यार चाहिए ही IPO चाहिए ही. So because of this excess shares that have been floated, can I say the prices will stabilize? पहले सिर्फ 1 लाख था. First there was only 1 lakh. And there were so many people demanding. Now there is 1,15,000. So can I say somewhere the price will stabilize, come down? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So over allotment helped me from a random shooting up of price. Random shooting up of price due to over allotment. Understood till here?
So like demand and supply, right?
Yeah, so demand and supply. Since basically the demand was so much and the supply was only a 1 lakh. Now the supply is a 1,15,000. So somewhere the price is stabilized. This is the first scenario. And normally people understand this only, but there is a very important second aspect also, which is about downfall. What happens when it is something like a Paytm IPO? Paytm IPO was a horrible IPO where investors lost their money. So for that also we'll see how this stabilizing agent is going to work and going to stabilize the price in case of a failure IPO, in case of a downfall IPO. First you've understood over allotment has helped me stabilize. Over allotment has helped me stabilize. Now, next, what is going to happen? The third thing. The third is when the stabilizing agent is going to sell, those 15,000 also. He is going to sell those over allotted shares. Over allotted shares, okay, those excess shares into the market. Yes, he sells the excess shares which are up to 15% of issue size in the market. Then what will happen? Can I say this stabilizing agent will be gathering money because he's selling the shares, he will be collecting the funds. All of these funds, okay, whatever he's going to collect, he's going to put in a separate bank account called as a escrow account or a green shoe option account. In this money, since he's selling the shares, there will be a lot of funds inside the shares come in this account. Yes or no? Since 15,000 worth shares are being floated in the market, so 15,000 worth shares money will come in and it will be put into this account. Yes or no? So in this account there will be a lot of money since all of the shares of worth 15,000 shares have been sold in the market. Next, what will happen? Let's say the prices have started to reverse. It was going up and then trend नीचे आ गया and the prices started to crash. It went up but then it started to crash. So we are seeing this kind of a scenario that this went up and now it's coming to crash. Let's say this was the issue price. Issue price was rupees 100. Issue price was how much? Rupees 100. And now it's starting to crash below this amount. It started to go to 90 and below that. Now what will the stabilizing agent do? You remember he has this green shoe option account. Green shoe option account in which he has a lot of funds inside. With help of these funds, he will start buying the shares. he will start purchasing the shares. So at discounted price, yes or no? So with this, he will start purchasing shares. Now, when he starts purchasing, he is going to create a demand for the shares. जैसे गिर रहा है 15% of the company का funds he has, where he can go ahead and keep buying. So the demand will further increase, so the share price won't crash below a point. To some extent, it will stabilize again because there is a demand created by the stabilizing agent, because whatever funds he has, he will start buying at 90, 80, etc. He will keep purchasing the shares, so that when there is a demand for buying or there is a demand for the shares, the prices will not fall further. Yes, agree till here? Yes. So इसके नीचे नहीं जाएगा because यहाँ से ट्रिगर हो गया, इशू प्राइस के नीचे गया, he will start buying. So there is not going to be any panic selling, because since there is a good amount of purchases also, investors will not panic. Otherwise, what happens if it goes below a price? There is going to be happen panic sale and it crashes. That crash won't happen because of, we can say, artificial demand has been created. Artificial demand created by the stabilizing agent. Yes or no? By stabilizing agent. So it doesn't fall also, because in case if it starts going down, with this money he will start buying. And since more has been floated, it will not even go very high. It will go at an average amount, average pricing. Have you understood? Now there are three things. So it has been stabilized somewhere from shooting up or falling down, because when it's falling down, this guy will buy from the funds that was there when he sold a 15,000 shares. Further, what will happen once this is stabilized, because it's stabilizing action etc. can only go on for 30 days. You cannot regulate the prices forever. Post listing 30 days, market can be regulated in this fashion that whenever it falls, the merchant banker or the stabilizing agent is buying it, creating a demand for it. Now next, what happens? Now next, the stabilizing agent, moment these 30 days are over, in the next 2 days, okay, in the next few days, he has to return all the 15,000 shares to the promoters from whoever he has borrowed. Now if I have borrowed the shares from you, after the borrowing I have to give the shares back to you. Yes or no? 15,000 शेयर्स तुम्हारे पास से लिए मैंने, अभी मैं उसको स्टेबलाइज कर रहा था तुम्हारे पैसे के साथ में, आर्टिफिशियल डिमांड क्रिएट करके, बाय जब भी गिर रहा था वही पैसे से मैं बाय कर रहा था, और ज्यादा भी फ्लोट कर दिया तो ऊपर भी नहीं जा रहा था, तो बाय कर रहा था. अब 30 डेज के बाद में आई हैव टू रिटर्न द 15,000 शेयर्स बैक टू यू. सो लेट्स सी आफ्टर, ओके, later what happens? Later, three scenarios can happen. What kind of scenarios can happen? Three kind of scenarios can happen. Case 1, case 2 and case 3. Sorted till here? So three scenarios can happen: case 1, case 2 and case 3. Now case 1, let's say it was a case like Paytm. क्या हो गया? It is a case like Paytm वाला केस देख रहे हैं हम लोग, जिसमें IPO लॉसेस हो रहे थे. It was falling. Okay, IPO was a kind of a failure. The next case we are seeing where it was a, let's say it went a hit. So IPO went like a Zomato IPO, where the prices never came down, only from the issue price के नीचे कभी ट्रिगर ही नहीं हुआ. It was just shooting up. So IPO was a huge success. IPO was a huge success. Okay, and let's say a third case of a IPO where it had fluctuations, where it went up, it went down both. So it was somewhere in between. So maybe LIC का जो IPO था, it didn't go up, or maybe I don't know whether you know this, Paras Defense. This was another kind of IPO that was launched. People were crazy behind it. It went up, then it crashed. Both case, okay? Let's see. Now what happens in each of the case. Yahan tak clear? We are taking 3 scenarios and trying to understand what the stabilizing agent will do. Stabilizing agent, what he will do? Stabilizing agent in the green shoe option. So first, IPO is a failure, where failure means it was trading below the issue price. So what happened? This was the issue price. Issue price. Now issue price was rupees 100. Moment it listed, moment it got listed, it started crashing downwards. So can I say the stabilizing agent, what will he do to stabilize the price and it doesn't crash further? With the help of the promoters, with the help of the promoters and the pre-issue holders money, he will buy back all the 15,000 shares. He will buy back all 15,000 shares that he has done, because everybody was selling, so he was buying, he was creating demand, and he was creating demand, so the prices didn't fall more. It because of the demand, it somewhere stabilized, and he has acquired the 15,000 shares back. Moment it is ended, this 15,000 shares can be given to the promoters. ये लीजिए आपके shares, हम लोग ने at least massive fall से बचा लिया. Understood till here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this was the first case. Second, now it was a huge success where there were no sellers in the market. It's a very rare case. Let's say it was a Zomato IPO और होता है, buy purchase order डालोगे ना, no sellers in the market. You from who will you buy? No sellers. Upper circuit. तो ये बंदा buyback कर पाएगा क्या? Will the stabilizing agent be able to buy back the shares?
Yes, sir.
No buyback, no sellers in the market. So what happens? We are taking this scenario. We are taking a scenario like this. Now the issue price again was 100. It directly opened like a Nykaa IPO or a Zomato IPO. It shot up and it never till date came down. No sellers in the market, because in the 30 days maybe there were no sellers. They are just hypothetical situation. So the stabilizing agent will say, वो जो 15,000 shares तो बेच दिए हम लोग ने, पैसा आ गया, but buyback नहीं कर पा रहे हम लोग. We could not. So in this case, will the stabilizing agent be able to buy back any shares? So they could buy back no shares. Could not buy back any shares in the market. Now question is कि भाई after 15 days, after 30 days, we have to return the promoters the shares, yes or no? We had just borrowed this to stabilize. We had borrowed these shares to stabilize the price. And after the stabilization period is over, we have to return it back to the promoters. So then we are saying now what to do? No sellers in the market. So then what happens? Pay attention. Okay, pay attention to this. Of this scenario. The stabilizing agent will realize that he could not buy back anything because the prices never came down in the market at all. Okay, so then he will go to the issuer company. He will go to Nykaa, he will go to Zomato. What a superb IPO! एक कोई seller in everybody is buying, upper circuit, beautiful. 1,15,000 sold, and it was massively, people who just wanted to buy. He will go to this and he will say, now see, this stabilizing agent will go and tell the issuer that massive IPO, I loved it, everybody loved it. But I had borrowed 15,000 shares, and these 15,000 shares I have to give it back to the promoters, and I can't purchase anything from the market. So what will happen? He will go and tell the issuer to allot extra 15,000 shares. Issuer can allot 15,000 shares additionally, yes or no? Company है, खुद के shares है, extra 15,000 निकाल के दे दो. So 15,000 shares will be given to the promoters or the pre-issue holders. Here, let's say it will be given to the stabilizing agent, and this stabilizing agent will then return it to the pre-issue holders, in this case promoters. And now it will happen, normally company had taken how many permission of how many shares to be listed? Permission of how many shares were taken to be listed initially?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. Now a application will be have to made, application to stock exchange to list additional how many shares? Additional 15,000 shares. We've taken from the promoters. We have to return to the promoters. We couldn't get it from the market. So please give the shares to the promoters. Tell me, will the promoters pay even 1 rupee? No. Promoters के बिहाफ पे पैसा तो ग्रीन शू ऑप्शन अकाउंट में पड़ा था, वही अकाउंट से इशू प्राइस पे इट विल बी गिवन टू दैम. So the company will allot these shares to the pre-issue holders at issue price, and this money will be debited from the green shoe option account. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is 15,000 shares we have to return. So we'll tell the company you allot it, money there is kept in the green shoe account, we will debit it from there. Now in the case 1 also, one interesting thing I want to tell you. Okay. In this thing, what happens, this was a loss since it's falling, and he's going to buy back 15,000 shares. Since it is falling, now pay attention to this, okay? I'm going to take you to this particular thing. Now, since the share price is falling, the stabilizing agent will be purchasing it below the issue price, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, after purchasing 15,000 shares, since he's buying below the issue price, can I see there will be a lot of excess amount in the account? Excess amount, because on an average 100 पे थोड़ी buy करेगा वो अभी, he will buy at average 95, because it is falling. Let's say 15,000 shares उसने सब 95 में खरीद लिया, तो 5 rupees का तो फायदा हो गया ना. So issue price के नीचे it fell, let's say 95 पे गिर गया. At 95 he went and he bought 15,000 shares. So 5 rupees benefit is there, it is kept in the account only, and 15,000 shares भी आ गए, and 5 rupees का excess money भी है. So this excess amount, okay, which is there, will go into the IEPF account, Investor Education Protection Fund, because promoters got 15,000 shares as it is. Since it was falling, from their money we purchased it. Now this excess amount will be deposited into Investor Education Protection Fund. Here, since nobody was selling, company had to allot extra additionally 15,000 shares, and they had to make an application for listing of this 15,000 shares as well. Now coming to this other case of Paras Defense, ऊपर जाके नीचे आ गया, not बहुत नीचे नहीं आया, he just came till this amount. In this case, the stabilizing agent could not buy 15,000 shares, he could buy only 10,000 shares. So the stabilizing agent could buy only how many? 10,000 shares. So can you tell me what will happen here? So it's a combo of case 1, case 2. So at low price, let's say at 95 he is buying. At 95 he is buying, and when it was up, he could not buy because there were no sellers in the market. So he could purchase only 10,000 shares, and that too he bought it at a cheaper rate. So the excess amount always is given where? The excess profit that has been made, where will it go?
IEPF.
It will go into IEPF account, Investor Education Protection Fund. And for the balance 5,000 shares which he could not buy, 5,000 shares which he could not buy, what will he do?
He'll ask for issue of
He will have to apply for listing and taking permission for additional allotment. Okay, it will be allotted, and from the green shoe option account at issue price, this will all be bought back. Clear till here? So these are all the three cases. I'll just take you all through. This will be given in your study material as well. Okay, first just let me take you through this. Purpose. Now tell me, is the purpose of green shoe option trying to make a quick buck or trying to make profit or try to provide excess capital? Is that the objective? The purpose is not to make excess share capital available. The objective is not over allotment. Is the objective over allotment? 1 लाख का परमिशन लो, 1,15,000 बेच दो, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं है. बट द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू एक्ट एज अ प्राइस स्टेबलाइजिंग मैकेनिज्म. Promoters and pre-issue holders, so those who before the issue they have to buy certain stake, their shares can be borrowed up to an amount of 15% of the total issue. Is this clear? Promoters shares can be borrowed, which will later after the stabilization period is over, it will be returned, can be borrowed up to 15% of the total issue. Now only those promoters can lend who have more than 5% stake. For example, I'm a promoter, I alone have bought 20%, so I am allowed to lend. Let's say there are 5 promoters. The companies can have more than one promoter, they can have multiple promoters. So only promoters who are having more than 5% can collectively lend up to 15%. For example, 10%. So let's say there are 3 promoters. So promoter A, B, C, 10%, 10%, and he has 4%. Can C lend in green shoe option? No. So C cannot lend. We are saying only those who have more than 5% can lend. So A and B can lend? Yes. Can they lend the full 20%? No. They can lend maximum how much? Maximum 15%, which will be later returned to them. Okay, so this excess supply in the market, 1 lakh shares will be floated or 1,15,000 shares will be floated?
1,15,000.
So this excess supply of shares will ensure that the price does not shoot up to abnormally high levels. Okay, because what happens if the price shoots up to abnormal, because oversubscription, everybody is demanding, it just goes up too high, then that is also not a very good scenario because it will then crash. So we want it to be stabilized rather than have this massive fluctuation. Now they've given an example which I have explained entirely with all the 3 given situations. So they have said, consider a company if they are giving an IPO of 1 lakh. The price has been decided as issue price is 100 rupees. In the green shoe option, you can over allot up to 15%, that is 15,000. So your issue size ka 15% can be over allotted, that is 15,000 can be allotted. So in the market, total shares that will be issued will be 1,15,000 shares. Is this clear? Now when this 15,000 shares are issued, additionally it is going to be sold in the market. So this excess supply will ensure that there is no shortage of supply. Yes or no? This 15,000 shares ka funds will be put in a separate account called this proceeds of this 15% will be put into a green shoe option account. Clear till here? It will have these green shoe option shares. Now the prices will try to be stabilized. Whenever it falls, the promoter, the stabilizing agent will buy from that amount, will create a demand so it doesn't crash. During the stabilization period, if the prices drop below 100 rupees, the stabilizing agent will get activated, will start utilizing the funds in the green shoe option account and buy these shares from the open market. Situation 1, where he buybacks all the shares, 15,000, where it was crashing, he could buy. Second, he could buy back none of them because it must be a massive, beautiful IPO that it never fell below the issue price at all. Stabilize करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी. And third, where he could buy back some of them, only 10,000, and 5,000 he couldn't buy back. So tell me the entire crux in this. In the situation 1, since it is falling, he is going to buy back below the issue price. Will there be a profit? Yes or no? Will there be excess funds left after he has bought 15,000? The excess will go to IEPF account. Here, when he couldn't buy back any of them, it was a beautiful IPO, never came down only. So in that case, there will have to be a permission, or there has to be a allotment separately by the company. Allotment and listing application have to be made for how many shares?
15,000.
15,000. And third, where it could be some, where they are giving an example, say 10,000. So 5,000 तो नहीं कर पाए हम लोग. तो जो भी 10,000 पे buy किया, we must have bought it at a profit. So whatever excess is there will go in IPF, and whatever is could not be bought back. So those there will be listed, that would get listed, allotted, and then listed onto the stock exchange. So the company will then have 1,15,000 shares in this case 1. So 1 lakh ही market में घूमेगा over the end. Towards the end, only 1 lakh will be floated in the market. Yes or no? In situation 1, since he's bought back 15,000 only, so was there a need to issue additional shares? No. So market में 1 lakh ही shares होंगे. In situation 2, what happened is we couldn't buy back. So now we'll have to allot more, and we have to take an application and make an increase in share capital. And now the share capital will be 1,15,000 shares. Understood till here? And there would be 1,15,000 shares traded on the stock exchange. In the third case, situation number 3, there will be 1,05,000 shares, because 10,000 तो bought back हो चुके हैं. जो बायबैक नहीं कर सके उसे एडिशनली अलॉट करके लिस्ट करना पड़ेगा. So here you will have 1,05,000. Am I clear with all the 3 situations?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what is the procedure also given under this regulation number? In your material or maybe the module, you can make a correction. This is regulation number 57. They have given what regulation number?
45.
They have given 45, but they have given off the previous regulation, and they have quoted wrongly that it is of 2018. Actually, it is regulation number 57 of 2018. Okay, so these are all the 3 options. Now that you've understood, just a small little procedural part, that you pass a resolution. So in that regulation number 57, it said that the company has to pass an ordinary resolution, like we saw in Paytm. They will appoint a stabilizing agent. This stabilizing agent will have an agreement with the promoters and the pre-issue holders that you have to lend up to maximum 15%. Then this will be there, that this fact that we are going to do a green shoe option is going to be exercised in the market. This will have to be disclosed in the prospectus, red herring prospectus, any kind of materials. Public should be informed. Then the period will start, and he will start borrowing from the promoters. So he will borrow from the promoters and start stabilizing the price. Now this entire stabilizing period will go on for maximum 30 days. And moment the 30 days is over, in the next 2 working days, he has to return the shares to the promoters. Excess money will go into IPF, and shares which could not be bought back will be separately allotted by the issuer at the issue price and will then be listed onto the stock market. So I am done with green shoe option. If I just show you the process also, company obtains approval, appoints stabilizing agent, agreement with the stabilizing agent. The stabilization agent will have an agreement with the promoters for borrowing the shares. He will open the bank accounts. Company over allots. Can you see this word over allots? over allots means they will actually float 1,15,000 shares in the market instead of 1 lakh. Then the trading commences and we will start seeing by success hai ki failure hai. Drop in prices. So horrible IPO अगर आ गया, if there is a horrible IPO, so then the stabilizing agent, moment it starts going below the issue price, he will start buying. He will borrow all the shares. He will buy all the shares, whatever is there from the market. He will then, since he's bought all the shares, he will be able in a position to return, and the excess funds will be transferred to IPF account. If it was a massive superb listing, there was no drop in prices, then the issuer will allot it to the stabilizing agent, who will then return the shares to the promoters and use the funds what was there in the green shoe option and give it to the issuer also, and a separate application for listing has to be made onto the stock exchange. Is this clear? Now we are seeing the sums. Now, Good Luck Finance Limited, a listed company, issued 20 lakh shares of rupees 180 each. So, what is the issue price? 180. The company provided green shoe option and nominated Nishan as a stabilizing agent. Okay, the coronavirus hit, and consequently, the post listing the share prices fell to 150. Find out the quantum of the shares that can be bought by Nishan. So Nishan, that is a stabilizing agent, can borrow maximum 15% from the promoters and 15% of the issue size. So 20 lakhs का 15%. Clear यहाँ तक? 20 lakhs का 15% is 3 lakh shares he can borrow maximum. Next, state the provision for the balance of shares lying in the green shoe option account. So whatever is the excess funds that lie in the green shoe option will go into where? Will be transferred to IPF account. Is this clear? Now taking the second example, Raman Limited issued shares of 50 lakhs at a share price of 200 rupees. The company provided a green shoe option for stabilizing the price post listing. The issue was oversubscribed. Now it came as a very good thing. It decided that the stabilizing agent would borrow the maximum numbers permitted under regulation. The prices raised. Only 5 lakh shares could be bought back at 180 rupees. So they are saying that he couldn't buy back everything. He could buy back only 5 lakhs. You are required to calculate the number of shares that the stabilizing agent needs to borrow. Okay. In case at the time of allotment, the responsibility of the issuer with respect to the shortfall while the green shoe option is there, and the amount, calculate the amount to be transferred to the IPF account. Very, very important and very, very interesting sum. Firstly, it is happening case 3 where he was able to buy back. So, pehli cheez, what is the question? Calculate the number of shares the stabilizing agent needs to borrow. What is the maximum he can borrow? How much percentage?
15% of the issue price.
So 15% of the issue size. So इसका निकाल लो, 50 lakhs का 15% कितना हुआ? तो 7.5 lakhs he will borrow. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Then the second question, explain the responsibility of the issuer for the shortfall. Now 7.5 lakhs he has borrowed, but from the market he could buy back only 5 lakhs. 2.5 lakh shares he could not buy back from the market because इतने sellers ही नहीं थे. Sellers सिर्फ 5 लाख जितने थे. Only 5 lakh sellers were there. So he bought back 5 lakhs, but he has to return 7.5 lakhs. 2.5 lakhs is the excess. So for that, what the issuer will have to do? Issuer will have to additionally allot 2.5 lakhs at the issue price. So 2.5 lakhs the company will have to allot, and the price at which they will allot is at the issue price. 200 पे they will allot. And जितना भी buyback भी किया, 5 lakhs buyback भी किया, so it was bought back at a cheaper price. Yes or no? Since it had fallen, so below the issue price, so he bought. So फायदा कितने का हुआ? How much benefit he had? 20 rupees. 200 was the issue price and he has bought it back at 180. So 20 rupees profit. 20 into 5 lakhs. So 20 into 5 lakhs is your 10 lakhs, or how much is it?
1 crore.
1 crore. So 1 crore is the excess amount, that profit which has to be transferred to IEPF. Have you understood this? This is the most advanced question of greenshoe option that can ever come, because it covers all the three cases. Now coming to the next question about the book building and calculating the book building price. This is again very important to understand and very simple also. Now pay attention to this very clearly, okay? A company, a public issue has come, and the public issue, they want to allot how many shares? This is 15 lakh equity shares through book building issue. Is this clear? Company wants to issue 15 lakh shares. They have kept a price band. They are asking the people, tell us you want to buy at 500, 510, 520, 600. You all start bidding. Now people if start bidding, let's say 500 only, and अगर allotment हो गया, decide हो गया कि 600 है, so none of you all will get the allotment. So normally good companies, people like to go for upper band only. मिल जाने दो, 100 rupees में क्या जाएगा. So sometimes people like to bid on the upper band only, that अगर allotment है तो confirm मिल ही जाएगा. Okay, so this way people will start bidding. Now bidding is done, but is this the final price? This is a price band. What is the final price that is decided? So they are asking us now. From the following table shows the demand of securities at different levels. What should be the cutoff price? So they are asking us, that we are the merchant bankers, we are the company secretaries, what price we should fix it at. मुझे बताओ, what is the amount that they want to sell? How many shares do they want to sell in the market?
15 lakhs.
15 lakhs. But bids आए कितने? 34 lakhs के. 34 lakhs 50,000. So if you add all of this, इतना ये प्राइस पे इतने नंबर ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स ने इतना डिमांड किया. So if I go to see, as the price is increasing, the total number of bids from 500 to 600 at these levels, I got this much demand, and it is a oversubscription. So I should be happy or sad? I'll be happy. I'll be अरे वाह, मतलब इतना अच्छे ओवर बिड्स आ गए. ना आता है कट ऑफ प्राइस क्या होगा, मुझे कितने निकालने हैं, मुझे कितने शेयर बेचने हैं. 15 लाख. मैं देख रहा हूँ 15 लाख किधर कवर होगा, तो क्यूमुलेटिव लेना पड़ेगा टू अंडरस्टैंड 15 लाख का हिट हुआ, यस और नो. तो क्यूमुलेटिव लेते हैं. वी आर सीइंग द नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स. सो व्हेन आई सी सीरियल नंबर के हिसाब से द नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स, फर्स्ट इज 7 lakhs, देन और 3 lakhs आया तो 10 lakhs, then और 1,40,000 आया. So we are seeing the bid price also, and then this price. So we are trying to see at which price we can close the amount. So once we see that cumulative demand came at 15 lakhs, yes or no? So at this way 600 onwards, because our company tries to sell it at a good price, so they are finding that at this much, if the company keeps 600, they are not able to sell 15 lakh shares. They'll be able to sell only 7 lakhs. So then they say, let's go at 595. So we got 3.5 lakhs more. So total 10 lakhs. But फिर भी नहीं हुआ अपना. So we'll further go to our lower rate. We'll add it. ऐसे करते करते 575 पे अपने सारे 15 लाख निकल रहे. So from the price table, it is clear that the demand is fulfilled at price 575. Therefore, this will be decided as the cutoff price. So normally, what you need to do, you need to reverse it. You have to keep the highest bid price up. 7 lakhs आ गया, then 3 lakh 50. You keep doing it till you reach 1 lakh 50,000, 15 lakh shares. Is this clear? So this is the best price that we are getting at which we can sell off all the 15 lakh equity shares. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now the next, yeah.
For the book building process in ICDR and the VSO as well, it's given in the capital market system.
Yeah, it is the same. Always it is calculated and captured in this fashion only. Yeah. Now if we see the RP Limited is planning to issue IPO in 2019, for which a draft letter of offer is proposed to be filled in September 2019. The following data is available with respect to the company. They have given the net tangible assets, net monetary assets, and net worth. So the of the past 3 years they've given, they want to make a IPO in 2019, 18, 17 and 16 का net tangible assets, monetary assets and net worth दिया हुआ है. Advise the company whether they can proceed with the IPO. So this is again a legal sum. We'll have to first see what a provision is there. So this is the provision. Your regulation number 6 of SEBI ICDR regulation gives you the conditions for eligibility requirement for an IPO. It says that the provision with respect to net tangible assets, monetary assets, all of this is given as under. Eligibility for IPO. The issuer should have a net tangible assets of at least 3 crores in each of the 3 full years. So tell me one thing. In each of the 3 full years, does it have net tangible assets of 3 crores? Yes. So here it is amounts in crores. So in each of the 3 years they have 3 crore rupees. So it's pretty good. This condition is fulfilled. Then of which not more than 50% should be held in monetary assets. Means whatever net tangible assets are there, उसमें से maximum 50% can be held in cash. Monetary assets. They want proper plant and machinery. They want other everything in monetary assets is not good because it just shows that it's free cash only. Business का है. So each of the 3 past years it should have 3 crores and out of which not more than 50% should be held in cash. So let's see. Each one का हम लोग देख रहे हैं क्या 50% से ज़्यादा is in cash monetary net worth. So in any of them, is it more than 50% of the net tangible assets? No. So net tangible assets is 5 lakhs. इसका 50% is 2.5, but the monetary assets is 1. So condition fulfilled. It is not more than 50% of the net tangible assets. Again, yeah, 8 का 4 होता है, 7 का 3.5. So in all the cases, it is less than 50% of the net tangible assets. ये भी condition fulfill हो गया. Next, the issuer has a net worth of at least 1 crore in each of the preceding 3 full years. So अभी net worth भी देखना पड़ेगा. 1 crore. So obviously it is more. So this condition is fulfilled. So can they proceed with an IPO? They satisfy with all the conditions. Therefore, they can proceed with an IPO. Is this clear? Would your answer be different if the monetary assets is 4 crores in 2016-17? 16-17 में 4 crores है. So will your answer change? Monetary assets in 16-17. So it is still up to 4 crores. Here they are saying it should not be more. So it's still okay. In this case, how would you deal if the monetary assets is 5 crores? Then it is allowed or what?
No, sir, you can't come out with an
It cannot be more than up to 50% is okay. It can still proceed with the IPO. However, in the last case, it can't proceed with the IPO. Next, again this is a legal sum. Legal sum for which means you need to know the law. Then you'll be able to solve the sum pretty easily. After IPO, equity shareholders, promoters holding in a listed company is 140 crores. Okay. The post issued equity capital is 600 crores. The promoter group is holding includes acquired during the previous years. So here they are saying the promoter holding includes 20% of shares allotment in consideration of transfer of technical know-how and 10 crores of equity capital pledged with the bank. Whether the promoters is satisfying the minimum promoters contribution. Can you tell me what is the minimum promoter contribution percentage?
At least 20.
Perfect. So if you see, as per regulation number 14 and regulation number 15, the minimum promoter contribution is at least 20%. Now इसका तुम 20% निकालो, ओके 20% निकालना पड़ेगा is the minimum promoter contribution. Now this promoter is holding the promoter group is holding 140 crores and the capital post issued capital is 600 crores. बट एक और इंफॉर्मेशन दिया, ये जो 140 crores है उसमें से 20 crores is held by equity shares allotted for transfer of technical know-how and जो भी equity shares दिए हैं वो pledged है. So रेगुलेशन नंबर 15 क्या बोल रहा है, ये 20% तो ठीक है, बट रेगुलेशन नंबर 15 क्या बोल रहा है, सेबी ICDR रेगुलेशन 2018, that the following specified securities shall not be eligible to be computed for counting the promoter contribution. One is if these have been acquired for consideration other than cash and it has been pledged with any of the creditors. So both these cases have happened. Equity shares I have pledged, the promoter has pledged, so that is not allowed, and the promoters have been allotted equity shares for consideration other than cash. So both these cases should not be computed in the minimum promoter's contribution. We want the promoter to actually contribute cash. Okay, so total 140 crores promoter का है, but ये 140 crores में से 20 and 10 निकाल देंगे हम लोग, because these two are ineligible to be computed in the promoter's contribution. So it will come up to 110 crores. Yes or no?
Yes.
This is as per regulation 14 and 15. So actually the promoter group has 110 crores. Now I want to see whether it is 20% of 600 crores. So 20% of 600 crores कितना होगा?
120.
Is 120 crores. However, they are holding how much? 110. So therefore the promoter is not satisfying the minimum promoter's contribution. The next one is about warrants. Now warrants is also similar to a call option. It is similar to a call option, where warrants are generally given to promoters, etc. And to encourage them that we are allotting warrants to you. So what happens? Let's say there is a promoter. Company can allot warrants. Warrant is nothing but something like a shares. Okay, so shares has been given, share price will be mentioned. That the share price is at 50 rupees. The market price could be, let's say, 70, but he has an option to purchase it at 50, but after some time, after 1 year, after 3 months, etc. Clear till here? So what happens if he wants to go and he wants to get this option that he can buy it at 50 rupees? Would you want to buy it or no? Yes, you would want to buy, but you can't exercise it today. You have to wait. In future, you will say 70 rupees का अभी चल रहा है, future में तो बढ़ेगा ही, 100, 200 हो जाएगा, and I will have a right to buy it at 50 only. So let me go ahead, let me buy the warrants. So you buy the warrants. There is a rule that you have to, minimum that you have to pay is minimum 25% on issue you have to pay. So 25% of this has to be paid at the time of issue. The balance कितना है? Can be exercised later when you choose to really buy it. Clear till here? So 50 rupees worth we are giving you We don't know what is the future price. Today is 70. Today we are telling you that at 50 only you can buy, but not now. Later. You like this thing because you think that the share price might go really high, so you plan to subscribe for it. You have to pay how much? Minimum 25%. Now let's see what happens in the future. Now in the future, it is possible that the share price goes up. It is a good situation, or the share price goes down. Yes or no? Yes or no? So when the share price went up, let's say it went up to 150. Would you exercise your option?
Yes.
You will pay the balance 75% of 50 and you will say please take it, give me the this, and you will exercise it. So worth 150 is the share market price. You will get it for 50 rupees in total, and therefore you made a gain of 100 rupees profit. So whenever you want to exercise it, you will have to pay the balance 75%. But what if it happened that it crashed? Market price is running way low. The company didn't perform well, and this turned out to be 30 rupees. Would you want to pay the balance and buy it for 50 rupees?
No.
You paid 25% of 50 already, and now would you pay the 75%? You would say, no, I don't want it. Why will I want? I don't want to pay. So that 25% will get forfeited. Am I clear till here? If you choose not to exercise it, this amount is forfeited. So this is like a double gain, or for the promoters also, it's like a carrot that you're giving. If the share price goes high, you will be very, very profitable. But also there should be a stick involved that if it falls, then your 25% is lost. Understood the concept of warrants?
Yes.
These warrants are given to certain specific people who we feel that they can really drive the company, and we want to attract them and retain them. So Govind Limited proposed to issue 20 lakh share warrants to its promoters. The share warrants give an option to buy. I told you it's like a call option. Option to buy shares at a predetermined price. The price trend of the company is given as below. Closing price on the relevant date is 250. The weekly high and low is this much, and this is this much. You are required to identify the minimum price at which the share warrant should be issued. Now again, there is this minimum price at which share warrants are issued. Again, it is a legal sum where you should first know the law. The law says, as per regulation 164, the price, equity share price should not be issued very low. So the preferential issue that you are giving, the issue that you are doing, the price should not be lesser than the average weekly high and low of the past 26 weeks or the past 2 weeks. So in the past 26 weeks they have given is 275, and in the past 2 weeks is 280. So we can issue it at a not lower than what amount? 280. So here they have also said, because when we are giving to promoters, we cannot give them at a dirt cheap price. They set a minimum value. That price should not be lesser than these two figures, higher of the following. So दोनों के higher जो भी है, that will be selected, and you cannot issue shares below that amount. Then calculate the amount payable by the promoters at the time of allotment of the warrant. At the time of allotment, how much do they have to pay?
25%.
25%. So we found if we figured that it is issued at 280. So 280 into how many have been allotted to him? Into 20 lakhs have been, like these have been issued to them, and 25% of that is the minimum price. Let's see. So therefore we go to see, it will be 25% of 280 rupees, that is 70 rupees. So 70 rupees, and there are 20 lakhs issued such like that. So it will be your 14 crores is the total amount that the promoters have to pay upfront. And that now we'll be seeing your other sums on ICDR regulations 2018. Here let's read. For this you will have to know the provisions, and then the sums are very simple. So these are legal sums. Legal sums are basically, if you know the law, the sum is very simple. Now Actin Edge Limited, a unlisted company, is in the process of expanding its business. For expansion it needs 200 crores. For raising 200 crores it has decided to go for an IPO through book building mechanism. It has fixed a price band of 500 to 600. So एक issue निकाल रहे हैं and they are asking the people to bid, and what price are they ready to buy at between these range. Referring to the ICDR regulations 2018, advice on the following. So one thing I've understood, the company needs 200 crores and they have ready to sell their shares between 500 to 600 and asking the people to bid. Now what is the minimum application value and the minimum number of shares in one application? Now for this you will have to know what is the minimum application value, which is the law. Now the law is very simple. As per regulation number 47 read with regulation number 143, application and minimum application value. The issuer shall stipulate in the offer document the minimum application size and which shall fall within the range of 10,000 to 15,000 rupees. So what is the minimum value that an issuer can set? Minimum 10 and maximum 15,000. Clear till here? If I want to apply in an IPO, can I apply with 10 rupees? No. So minimum 10,000, and company saying that can I say minimum application value is 15 lakhs? No. So then they have said the range should be, company can decide na minimum application value, so they can either keep it 10,000 or 15,000 or somewhere in between. So in the question they've asked you, the law is pretty simple. This is the minimum application value, 10 to 15,000 they can keep it. Now the question they are saying that kitne shares milenge. See the question. What should be the minimum application value? Between 10,000 to 15,000 the company can decide. And the minimum number of shares in each application that I can apply. Now अगर 10,000 का है और ये प्राइस बैंड है, तो मिनिमम कितने शेयर्स के लिए मुझे अप्लाई करना है? समझ में आ रहा है? If the lower band is 500, so and let's say they are setting it as 10,000, so then what will be it? So let's see. पहले हम लोग देखते हैं कि अगर कंपनी ने 10,000 rupees फिक्स किया, let's say we have decided that the company has they have fixed the minimum number of shares. In each case we are going to see the minimum application value should not cross 10,000, the limit of 10,000 to 15,000, not below 10 and not more than 15. So let's see what is the minimum application of shares that one will make. First I am going to take that the company has set the application size as 10,000. Okay, so at 500 level, at a lower band, we are going to see at 10,000 level lower band kya hai, and at upper band at 600 level kya hai. So here at 10,000, so एक शेयर लोअर बैंड का कितना रख रहे हैं हम लोग? 500. ऐसे 10,000 शेयर्स है तो मुझे मिनिमम 20 के लिए अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. यहां तक समझ में आया? मीन्स एक शेयर एट लोअर बैंड इज 500 रुपीज. ऐसा वो लोग ने मिनिमम एप्लीकेशन वैल्यू 10,000 रखा है, तो मुझे मिनिमम 20 शेयर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. If the company decides that at 500 rupees they are keeping the lower band as 500 and the application size they are saying let's keep it 15,000, so that time in this scenario it will be 30 shares that you have to apply. Understood till here? तो लोअर बैंड इज 500, तो 10,000 में कितने मिलेंगे 500 के हिसाब से? या 15,000 रख रहे तो 500 के हिसाब से कितने अप्लाई करने पड़ेंगे. नाउ वी आर सीइंग द अपर बैंड देख रहे हैं. तो अगर अपर बैंड है तो वही, अगर कंपनी ने डिसाइड किया 10,000 रखते तो अपर बैंड में 17 शेयर के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. एंड इफ देर इज 600 at upper band में and they are keeping the application price at 15,000, then they will apply for 25 shares. Means what? Let's understand. At lower price band, at 10,000, 15,000 they've given you, and at upper band, this is the 10,000, 15,000 they've given you. You can other way around, you can also look at it this way, that अगर कंपनी ने 10,000 रुपए सेट किए तो लोअर बैंड में तुम अगर अप्लाई कर रहे हो, मतलब यू आर सेइंग यू वांटेड फॉर 500, सो यू विल अप्लाई फॉर हाउ मच? 20 शेयर्स. ओके. और वैसे ही अगर तुम 600 पे कितना होगा? 17 शेयर. समझ में आया? 10,000 के वैल्यू सेट किया तो. सो एट 10,000 you can apply at 500 or 600. For 500 if you apply, you will get 20 shares. For 600 if you apply, you will get 17 shares. If company said नहीं 10,000 नहीं रखेंगे, 15,000 मिनिमम एप्लीकेशन वैल्यू रखते हैं, तो 15,000 पे प्राइस बैंड कंपनी ने 500 to 600 सेट किया है. yes or no? So 15,000 पे 500 अगर सेट कर रहे हैं, एक शेयर 500 का, तो 15,000 में कितने मिलेंगे? 30. बट अगर 600 डिसाइड किया, नहीं यार चलो बिड करते, 600 डिसाइड करते, सो देन तुमको 25 शेयर्स मिलेंगे. नाउ ऑब्वियसली इन्वेस्टर को रेंज देते हैं 500 and 600, and the investor can decide whether he wants to go for 500 or 600 or any other figure between this range. So the investor will decide. This what bidding range has been given, amount I will decide. The minimum application value, who decides? Whether it will be 10,000 or 15,000. That who will decide what will be the minimum application value? The company will decide whether the application value is 10,000 or 15,000. Okay, so they will say that the minimum application value in this case is 10,000 rupees. So then it will be 20 and 17. But if the company decides the minimum application value is 15,000, then the case will be 30 and 25. Have you understood till here? Yeah. And then again, one more legal provision is there, that remember you in our 12th or in commerce we had done, there was first call. First is the application amount. Then comes the first call, second call, final call. Yes or no? Same way, सबसे पहले आता है application, minimum sum payable on application. So पहले application के time पे how much you have to pay. So here again the law says that minimum we can ask, or minimum we have to ask is how much? At least 25% of the issue price. So this is again the law or the provision, that minimum is 25% that we have to ask of the issue price is in the application amount. Okay, then they say the period of subscription. Now period of subscription, they are saying in the IPO period will be for a limited period, like how we have offer period is for this much time. So here also IPO is kept open for 3 to 10 working days, but minimum 3, maximum 10 working days. In case the company has revised the price band, they can extend the bidding period for a minimum of 3 working days. Now why will they extend? Maybe the company must have faced some force majeure, or company just decides to revise the brand. So they can give additional 3 working days. Or if there is any kind of strike, force majeure means act of God, for whatever reason there was a war, any kind of external aggression, strike, lockout, any kind. So in that case, the issuer may, again, if he wants, he can extend the period for minimum 3 working days. So normal time period is 3 to 10. and for extension it is more 3 working days. Is this clear? That is it. We are done with this.